part of National COPD Awareness Month, the COPD Learn More, Breathe Better campaign is encouraging people across the country to take the first step in improving the lives of those with COPD. COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a progressive disease that makes it hard to breathe. It affects an estimated 24 million people and includes conditions like emphysema, chronic bronchitis, and asthma. Ed Neuzil, board-certified nurse practitioner at Allergy Sinus and Asthma Family Health Center, explains that with early diagnosis and treatment, people with COPD can begin to breathe a little easier.
COPD is one of those conditions that you can see in both men and women, but it has a tendency more towards the males. So it's kind of a cover term in the fact that a person's airway does not actually return to a normal state after we give them a bronchodilator. People can end up with COPD, and not just from smoking. COPD can be a result of a chronic inflammatory condition. So people that have had asthma early that's untreated can end up with COPD and never smoked before. We also have to understand that asthma causes irritation of the airway, and if we don't resolve the inflammation, then it begins to scar, and it's something they call airway remodeling. And it's where you start to change the inner lining of the bronchial tubes to where they form more of a scar. Scars have a tendency to constrict. So as it constricts, now it reduces the diameter of the airway and result in COPD. So when we look at young people and we detect asthma, it's prudent to really look at the fact that if it's left untreated, we can be developing COPD at later age. When you're looking at young people, their airways are quite small, so it does not take a lot of inflammation in order to start wheezing and having airway problems. So as we get bigger, we go from a diameter in the airway maybe the size of a pencil to the size of a thumb. And so you can see that you can still have inflammation, but you're not going to be as symptomatic, and it's not going to be as dramatic as when you're small and you have that smaller airway. When we look at different problems like asthma, COPD, emphysema, a lot of what we do here is called spirometry testing. We actually measure your airway functions. And if appropriate, we'll actually give you a treatment of a short-acting bronchodilator and measure again. And by the difference in your airway functions, we can determine an appropriate medical protocol for you.
To get in touch with Ed Neuzil and the staff at the Allergy Sinus and Asthma Family Health Center, please visit our specialist directory. Just click the Breathe Relief tab on our homepage, yourhometownhealth.com.